between Grok and OpenAI and ChatGPT, there's a lot of a lot of things that can be made more efficient, a lot of tasks that can be streamlined, but there's also a lot of dangers and concerns about the future of AI here in America and how it relates to national security. That brings us Brendan Steinhauser, CEO of the Alliance for Secure AI. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So what are we, you tell me, frame this properly. Obviously, AI is incredibly powerful, incredibly useful. People tell me that it's going to just make our world and our lives so much better. But what are the dangers? The dangers seem quite palpable.
Yeah, it is kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. It's a tool like any other, a very powerful tool. And currently most people are familiar with chatbots that often get things wrong or hallucinate or do those sorts of things. But even among the chatbots that we're seeing now, we've seen examples and studies that show that there have been elements of AIs lying, manipulating, deceiving the users, really just pursuing their goals of reward maximizing. And so there are some concerns there just with these kind of current models. But I think most people are concerned about the next generation of AI and this rapid expansion and development into what is known as artificial general intelligence, AGI, which is coming very soon. Everyone in industry kind of has a consensus now at this point that this is coming fast. Whether you want that to happen or not, it seems like this is going to happen very fast, where an AI will be as smart as any human. It'll have basically a PhD level intelligence in pretty much every subject matter. And it will be pursuing the goals that humans give it if we can control it and if we can make sure that it is aligned with us. And I think that's the big problem there. We can get into some of the details on that, but I think AI alignment is the big issue here.
I lied, Brendan. I said I don't use AI. I actually asked Grok to write a question to ask you. No, I didn't. I'm only kidding. But I'm curious about, what you just said there. We can sort of make these AI platforms or whatever, pursue what the interests of humans. But what if China wants to destroy the United States? We don't all believe the same things. And
what if that's their interest?
Right.
Yeah. I just don't understand how we can ever control for that. I think that in the U.S. there are people like you and me and other people that want these safeguards and regulations, but I don't think we can trust the Chinese. Look what they've done with TikTok. Look what they did with COVID. The evidence is there that these are not fair partners.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Julie, and that is a big concern. The Chinese Communist Party is rapidly developing their own AI capabilities. They're advancing in robotics. Some would say faster than we are. So think about embodied robots that are Chinese robots powered by AGI. That's a very scary proposition. And then also they are actively in our frontier labs in the Bay Area stealing the systems and products that we're producing. And so the American private sector is investing tens of billions of dollars into these products, into developing advanced artificial intelligence. And the Chinese spies are there right now, penetrating those labs, stealing things, waiting for us to develop the next generation. And they will steal it and they will use it. And it is likely they will not only weaponize it against us in all sorts of different ways through cyber attacks and undermining our critical infrastructure so that they weaken us when they move on Taiwan, but also building a enhanced police state that takes what they're doing right now and makes it look like child's play. So, and then exporting that to potentially lots of countries around the world. And so there are a lot of concerns with the power of advanced AI. And I think we're moving very, very fast. I think within a couple of years, you're going to see just incredible advancements in this field. And so it is something that we have to kind of think very carefully about. We have to be very thoughtful about, or we could really end up in a bad place, not only as Americans who are just trying to live our daily lives, but for the entire world.
We're speaking with Brendan Steinhauser, and you just laid out, cyber attacks and psyops, where you can create like thousands, tens of thousands of bots on social media to push a fake story, but make it seem like it's real. And the accounts forget about there being, they look like they're real, but they're not. These people, even videos can be created. And the human beings that you see there are not actually human beings, and it can actually sort of screw with a nation's and a culture's psychology, and it can be, utilized by hostile intelligence agencies. People listening to us right now, sir, they're crafting and funding programs that can protect this country. What is it that the Alliance for Secure AI is looking for? What is your organization doing, and what are you hoping legislators and people in the national security realm are focused on?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say that we are first and foremost trying to educate policymakers in the administration and in Congress about some of the rapid advancements in AI to really persuade them that, hey, this is something that needs to be a top issue, if not the top issue over the next couple of years because of those rapid advancements. So I think education is a big part of it. And then also providing resources for the public. Mm-hmm.
Is there a concern, though? And just throw it out there because we do need security with regard to artificial intelligence and certain regulations, but we also want to make sure that we can innovate. I mean, everyone around the world is harnessing this, and America needs to lead. So how can we balance that?
Absolutely. Well, I think President Trump and his team have been very explicit on this and very strong that we need to maintain U.S. dominance in AI, and we need to be out there leading and innovating. I think that's absolutely right. And we would say that innovation and dominance go hand in hand with safety and security. If we don't protect what we're producing, if we don't develop it in safe ways, it's not going to be good for us. It's not going to be good for anyone. We have to make sure that we maintain control over those systems, that we can have it work for us, not the other way around. Or again, that other countries, especially China and Russia, and to some degree other countries like Iran, obtain what we have created and then weaponize it against us. And so, yeah, we think the president is correct on that. We're looking forward to seeing his AI action plan. Certainly some of our friends and allies and colleagues have submitted comments for that. And I would say, too, again, one of the most important things here is physical and information security at the labs. That is one key element here that we're just not doing a good job of in this country. And I would like to think that the frontier labs like OpenAI and Anthropic and Google DeepMind would do that themselves for their own interests and for national security. But I get a lot of feedback from people who are experts in this, who are people who used to work at those labs, and they say it's pretty wide open. And so that's a big danger for America.
Yeah, let's not have something happen and then look back and say, oh, if only we knew. No, we know. We just aren't doing it. Brendan Steinhauser, Alliance for Secure AI. Where can people go to get more information to educate themselves on this?
Our website is secureainow.org, secureainow.org, and you can also find us across all social media platforms. We're actually launching with a big public event tomorrow in Washington, D.C., and encourage everyone to watch that event on our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it.